season.
How's it feel?
How does it feel to be Team Tennessee this morning?
Are you Team Tennessee today?
No. We're gonna get to that. I don't want to start with that. I want to give Tennessee their due.
No. I have waited the entire time. I want to start with that because this is the moment.
Please hold.
Oh,
okay.
What's
happening?
World is there a jersey?
No.
How did she sneak this in here?
What is happening?
Arts and crafts.
Oh, she's a psycho.
Okay. This is JB's Big Board. And
close your laptop.
Okay, good
close
idea.
your laptop.
Yeah, close that.
Good idea.
You spent time making this also.
Yesterday.
CJ, I'm worried about Jessica. I'm worried about what Jessica has time to do with her day.
Oh gosh, things are falling off. So this is JB's Big Board of Fandom. And you got to give me like a couple minutes to go through this, okay? I promise.
Do you need me to hold the mic for you so you can
hold it for me?
Yeah, I'll come out there and hold it for you.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be a thing. Can they hear? Can everyone hear Jessica?
I don't know. My ear is out. I wasn't going to do this early. But here we are. The CJ will come. Letters are falling off. Shout out to Office Max. Mm-hmm. But I need to point.
She needs to be Vanna.
I need to be Vanna. Thank you. My Wheel of Fortune dreams coming true. Okay. I don't have a pointer, but I have a hairbrush. So you guys have had such trouble figuring out my fandom, and I feel bad. Like, I've never really had an issue with my fandom, but now that I've been forced to be in a situation where it's confused you guys, I wanted to make it clear. It's obviously not that complicated, as this very intense chart shows. So, let's get through it really quickly.
I am worried, but we're going to give Jessica her moment.
JB's Big Board. Jessica, born February 6, 1992 in Toledo, Ohio, born to love all teams, and that is because I was born to my mother, the queen of supporting all teams, and that is because she was the daughter of a coach, Bob Ryan, my grandpa Bob. He was a coach at the University of Puget Sound, the University of Washington, the University of Hawaii, and he was a scout for the CFL. But when I was born, he was a scout for the Buffalo Bills, a role that he had for 30 years until he died in 2009. So upon birth, I am an instant, scouts don't make that much money. I am an instant Buffalo Bills fan out here because at this point it's 1992 and it's not like they can lose 4 straight Super Bowls, right? So it was a tough start as a Bills fan. On the other side, my dad, my Uncle Mike is a tennis coach at Pacific Lutheran University, so I support them from the jump. My dad is the commissioner of the Mid-American Conference, #MACtion, when I am born. I'm not a huge Mac fan because I was a baby, but this sets the tone for the rest of my life because since he was the commissioner of the MAC, I was born to love conferences, not teams, conferences, because we weren't allowed to root for specific teams. So we moved to Denver because my dad takes the job to be the commissioner of the WAC. This is where I start to really go all in because these are my formative years, right? This is when you learn who you are going to be in this world. So I love all the WAC teams 100% from the jump. Boise State, Hawaii, Fresno State, Nevada, Louisiana Tech women's basketball, all of the teams. This also starts my love for underdogs because the WAC is obviously not a Power 5 conferences weren't a thing then, but we couldn't say like mid-major in my house. Okay, we're in Denver. John Elway, love the Broncos. Todd Helton, love the Rockies. The Avs are hitting their peak. Things are great. The Nuggets are We weren't a huge NBA family, but like you're in Denver, so you like them. This is also when my dad was on the men's basketball committee, and this just further supports all these exclamation points. Lover of underdogs. I will pick 16 seeds to beat 1 seeds because I love underdogs. I also am a weird UCLA basketball fan. This is a closeted thing. I'm admitting it now. There's an X through it. It's the only team I've ever abandoned in my life. Big Notre Dame and UConn women's basketball fan. Shout out Ann Struthers from Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Played at UConn. Muffet McGraw. I wanted to play for her. Okay. Got to take a breather. All right. I go to summer school at Yale. Yale ends up rejecting me twice for real school, but I still love Yale for some reason in all their sports. There are rarely opportunities for me to root for Yale sports, but when they are there, I will do it. Then I go to USC, covered in stars, because this is the first chance that I have to be an actual real-life fan. I am no longer just in this conference household, and I can be a fan, so I love all things USC, all teams USC. If you played at USC or you coached at USC, I support you, I love you. Fight on forever. When I'm in college, my dad moves on to New Orleans to become the commissioner of the Sun Belt Fun Belt. Again, more underdogs enter my life. My mom moves home to Seattle. She kind of morphs back into like Seahawks, Mariners territory. Love Russell Wilson. Love Pete Carroll. I can like jump on board. The only problem with that is then I start to date Chris. Surrounded by hearts. And as they say, happy husband, happy life. So I have to support Chris's teams because he's a psychopath as a fan. So he loves the Warriors, Syracuse, the 49ers, the Giants, and never Georgetown. He will often say, what time is it? And it's Georgetown still sucks. I've had to learn to say that in our household. Meanwhile, Mom goes all in on the Pac-10, Pac-12. West Coast doesn't get enough love. East Coast bias. You know how it is. USC, UW, everyone else. Most importantly, USC. So from USC, I moved to the Tri-Cities, Washington, where I take my first job as a local TV sports reporter, and this is where I become lover of high school football, high school basketball. I can get in on any team, Kamaikan, Walla Walla, Richland, Liberty Christian, Prosser. Shout out to you all, shout out to all the teams. And that brings us to Memphis, Tennessee, where, fun fact, I have now lived the second longest of my entire life outside of Denver, Colorado, usurping my time at USC, which basically makes it home, which means at this point I am a pretty solid fan of the Grizzlies, the Tigers. I will support the Redbirds, 901 FC, all the high schools in here. And here's this little line. Titans light. Not because I am not a Titans fan, but because I support my communities and I support those around me and I support you, Megan, because you're Team Tennessee. And I want the Titans to do well because I would rather talk about the Titans playing really well, going on a Super Bowl run, than talk about the Titans getting COVID and being really bad. And finally, every athlete and every coach I've ever covered. Well, almost, because there's obviously exceptions to every rule. But now, this is on a whiteboard, so I can make changes. I did that on purpose. I have markers in my bag because we know things get kind of funky in my fandom life. But I hope this makes sense. I took pictures of it. I'm going to send it to you guys so you can reference it. But this should really sum it up.
My arms are tired.
I bet. I want you to know that it took you 7 minutes to explain why you are a fan of so many different areas and places, which is why we say there is just a hint of craziness, probably a hint of craziness involved in being a fan of so many different teams. It must be exhausting. I cannot imagine what your nightly, daily, weekend life is like. I feel like the board should stay right behind you, or we should put that there instead of our beer taps, which we don't drink because it's way too early. We should we should definitely put it in a picture frame and do that. You might need another board for all that. But
we do have a game to talk to. Yeah, I was going to do it at the end, but then it just presented itself so nicely.
I'm happy I laid it out for you because we would have ran out of time. Ran out of time to talk about the game. But I want to say that the Titans beat your Bills. I see for that little blurb